The Ravens have had an eventful offseason, to say the least. They originally planned, as we were reminded there, to acquire Maxx Crosby from the Raiders for 2 first-round picks, but backed out of the trade agreement and instead signed Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $120 million deal. The team has also lost a handful of meaningful contributors, led by Tyler Linderbaum, Isaiah Likely, Draymond Jones, Alohi Gilman. There's a lot to talk about here with Jesse Minter. And the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens joining us now, Jesse Minter. So glad to have you here with us. We appreciate your time. I know you have been asked about Lamar Jackson probably 300 times today. We're going to make it 301. I'm curious, this is a player that plays at MVP level all the time, right? He's one of the best players in the league. How do you plan, though, to unlock even more out of Lamar?
You know, we want to build on what he is. You know, I think he's the best player in the National Football League. We want to build an offense that at times allows him to do that, at times takes a little pressure off of him. We want to have a dominant line of scrimmage, a dominant run game. We want to build the best defense in the league to put with him. And we think we'll create an environment where there's still an even greater step he can take.
That's him on the field, obviously, but one of the conversation points has been his future with the Ravens. And sometimes we get the contract talk, and you're like, I'm the coach. I'm just dealing with talk to Eric about that. But from your vantage point, how important is it to make sure that Lamar Jackson is the future of the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, Lamar knows how the organization feels about him. We know how he feels about us. We think in due time that'll all work itself out.
One of the things that you mentioned in your introductory press conference is just how important the off-season programs are for players and how you want them to buy in. Do you expect Lamar to be there next week?
I have a pretty good confidence level that we'll have a lot of attendance there starting on Monday, and look forward to seeing who all that's at. It's about us creating an environment where they want to be there, where they feel like they're getting a lot out of it. We have a ton of respect for the rules, that it's voluntary, so we need to make it an environment that they feel like they're getting better. And so we look forward to starting that on Monday.
How important would it be, though, to have Lamar there?
Yeah, Lamar is certainly a key piece of the team, but he's also, he's won MVP doing it a multitude of different ways. So I'm very confident that in September we'll have Lamar where we need to have him. And so, again, just look forward to the work that we get to start this week.
We've seen him win an MVP with Greg Roman. We've seen him win an MVP with Todd Monken. Insert Declan Doyle. How have you seen that offense come together a little bit, even if it's just on paper or maybe over the film work?
It's been great. I've just strengthened my feeling of Declan the more and more that we get to spend around each other, the more time we spend together, learning the offense, learning each other, learning how I can help him, how he can help me. We've had a great relationship and very, very excited about the direction of our offense.
What made Trey Hendrickson such a good fit for what you want to do defensively?
Trey's an elite pass rusher, and when you look at playing with the lead and the ability to close out games, oftentimes it's pass defense, it's sacks, it's interceptions, it's turnovers. Having that guy that can win those one-on-ones, not only can he win the one-on-ones, but he can also draw attention that at times can create other opportunities for other people. So very excited about Trey. I've said this a bunch, he has the second most fourth quarter sacks in the last 5 years, and that's an area where we want to be dominant as a team, finishing games. And I feel like he's a closer for us. He'll be in that type of role, and I'm very excited about him.
18 years this organization has had one man leading the front of the room. You were on that coaching staff with John Harbaugh, of course. What have you done to go out of your way to maybe say, it's the Jesse Minter era now. We respect the past and what we've accomplished, but here's my imprint on this team.
I think you said it. I mean, I've been around a lot of great coaches. That's put me in a position to be where I'm at. I've tried to take a little bit from everybody that I've been around. Certainly the Harbaughs, both of them have been a major influence on me. But at the same time, man, I've taken things from every stop. I've taken things that I would do the same, maybe that I would do different. And I want the players to feel like it's our program now, that it's change is change. Sometimes it just happens after such a long time. Love and respect and have great admiration for John and the job that he did there. There is a great foundation in place, and so it's putting our own spin on it, and we look forward to starting that next week.
You're here at the annual league meetings as a first-time NFL head coach. Have you taken a moment to just be like, wow, this is pretty cool, and enjoy that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, when you just walk into these big meetings and you see how just the way the NFL operates and the business side of things and why it's so successful, how it's so successful. You learn a lot about that in some of these deals. And so you just, the respect level for how it operates just goes even higher. And then you get a chance to meet a lot of the other coaches, certainly know some of them from over the years. But it's a cool, and it's kind of its own little fraternity. There's only 32 of them.
Who did you meet that you didn't know beforehand that you walked away, you're like, that's a cool guy?
Yeah. I would say that I didn't know beforehand, probably Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
You know, just having like a short, small conversation with him yesterday. Somebody that I don't think I'd ever even met. And so, yeah, that one sticks out.
One thing I do want to ask about the Crosby deal, obviously that goes down and you've had to answer questions about it. Now that we're a couple of weeks removed, what learning experience do you take from that whole entire thing, whether it be the media reaction or it be the discussions with the player himself, all of it? There's a learning lesson somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's this thing, there's going to be ups and downs no matter what, whether it's in a game, whether it's dealing with stuff like that. To try to really stay even keel, not ride the wave. We were super excited about the thought of Maxx Crosby. We were disappointed that it didn't work. But I think you learn just to trust the process. Everything has a process through it. We went through the process. The result what it was. And so I think you just got to learn to stay even keel, not try to ride that wave too high, and always be ready to respond. Yeah. So whatever happens to you, it's not what it is. It's how do you respond. And I'm very, very happy and proud of our organization, how it was handled and how we responded to it. And I feel like we're in a great place.
It's great life advice, too. Thanks so much to Jesse Minter joining us here, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
As for another AFC North team, the Browns have 3 quarterbacks on their roster. Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel win a combined 4-9 in their starts as rookies last season. Then there's Deshaun Watson, who missed all of last season as he rehabbed the Achilles injury he suffered in October of 2024. Watson has played in only 19 games since the Browns traded 3 first-round picks and gave him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract in March of 2022. Adam, the Browns spoke yesterday, their owner, about Deshaun Watson's availability this coming season. What more can you tell us about if we should expect to see Deshaun out there?
Well, it sounds like there's a real possibility that Deshaun Watson, at the very least, is going to be competing for the starting job if he doesn't win the Browns starting quarterback job. We've seen quarterbacks bounce around this league only to resurface and have great success. And the Browns believe that could be the recipe for Deshaun Watson, who hasn't been heard from, essentially, for 2 years. Obviously, everybody knows the backstory. Everybody knows everything that's gone on there. And here's a career that got completely derailed, was upside down, and now he's trying to make it back. And we'll see whether or not he can, but he clearly is in the competition and in the running to become the Browns starting quarterback this season. Why are you looking like that, Laura?
It's just fascinating. Like, I think a lot of people thought there's no way. Like, he's not going to come back, or if he is, it would be in a different capacity. He applied to the Geno
Smith School. People wrote him off, and most people thought he wasn't going to write back.
I ain't right back, and then, I don't know, maybe he is. I'm trying to figure out the grammar there. But either way, you did spend some time today listening in on Todd Monken and what he had to say about the quarterback room. What more did you learn about that, Peter?
It's fascinating to hear Coach Monken speak. He's been waiting to be an NFL coach all these years. He finally becomes one, and this is the quarterback room he inherited. And, you know, Shedeur Sanders has been there in the building, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah. He said Shedeur Sanders has shown up every day. Now, they can't do actual football. They can't actually talk ball. They can't go out there on the field. But he can work out, and he can be there, and they can have conversations. And he says, you know, he's got a great relationship with Shedeur already because he's around. Deshaun Watson is not. They've spoken on the phone, but he's not there. And Dylan Gabriel, he says, I believe from what I know, he hasn't been there either. So say what you want about Shedeur Sanders and his chance to be the #1 quarterback. If you're going a month into the Monken era, who's done the best to be present and in his face? It's been Shedeur.
That matters, right?
I think so. Then again, we're not even in April. I think they have a lot of needs on their roster, though. I wouldn't necessarily pencil in quarterback for them either. I think this is going to be the group, these 3. And it will be a meritocracy, and the best man will win. But Shedeur Sanders doing everything he possibly can to make a name for himself.
And they're not going to go quarterback at 6. And I don't think people believe they'll go quarterback at 24. I think they'll sit out the first round for a quarterback. You mentioned Shedeur Sanders being in the building. Deshaun Watson's been around. Dylan Gabriel has not been around. And again, it's the end of March. We'll see how that works out. But there may be a little message in that Dylan Gabriel is not there. We'll see whether that means anything or not.
Man, that's going to be really interesting down here as it continues to develop. We got a lot more quarterback news around the league. Let's stay in the AFC North. Adam, what is the latest on Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, or his decision? I should say it that way instead.
Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers have been in regular contact here. Clearly there are conversations that are occurring between the Steelers free agent quarterback and the current Steelers head coach, who the 2 men have worked together in Green Bay before, and there's a real possibility they'll work together now. We're still waiting for a decision from Aaron Rodgers, but it certainly seems like he is open to the idea and entertaining the idea of returning to Pittsburgh for this upcoming season. Meanwhile, we knew that Geno Smith is back with the New York Jets. We talked about him being written off, bouncing back. He's their guy. They're counting on him making a mark this season. Aaron Glenn talking up Geno Smith at breakfast this morning at the AFC Coaches Breakfast. They had big plans for Geno Smith this season, and they're hoping that he can help this franchise turn around things in New York. As for Anthony Richardson, we know that his future in Indianapolis is murky, but there are no assurances that the Colts general manager may be able to trade him. It's been quiet so far.
Yeah.
There's not been a lot of interest in Anthony Richardson. We'll see whether or not that changes at the draft, but if you're not getting back anything more than a pick flip, you might just be better off holding on to the former 4th overall pick and keeping him around your roster. They're not just going to give him away. They haven't found any offers that are worthwhile. And so for the time being, Anthony Richardson remains on the roster, and the Colts still can see a scenario in which he is on their roster.
I mean, I get it, right? He didn't show us anywhere near what they had expected, but he's also still a young player in his career. Like, maybe there's more there. There was something that they liked, and you saw
Quarterbacks are
flashes
currency,
of
Laura.
bingo.
You don't just give away currency.
He's got potential, people. Okay, hold on to him maybe and see what happens. We got more coming your way here on NFL Live. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here on ESPN. And when we come back, Cardinals head coach